Hi, welcome back to our podcast. My name is Ray,
My name is MJ.
and today we will be discussing our predictions for episode 9, season 3 of the Penthouse.
Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we were left off on episode 8 with a reunion of Logan Lee and Shim Serdan. Thank goodness he is alive.
They're finally back together after a whole season,
Yeah.
practically. Yeah, we were left with so many questions. How is this even possible, first of all? How is he alive? Why is she here? What does the family want? What are their motives? And who's behind all of this?
Yeah, so many. So what do you think?
Well, I do think that Cho Seo-jin is behind everything. When Alex came to meet Mr. Beck, like he found out that Mr. Beck's a gambler, he came and told Cho Seo-jin that Alex knows that I'm a gambler. And that's when they say, okay, fine, tell James, Logan's father, that he's alive, that we found him. And at that time, I think she went back to their hideout and gave him an injection that's going to make his heart stop beating. So everyone else will think he's dead, but he's really alive.
Interesting. I have to agree with you. I think Cho Seo-jin is the reason behind all of this. But I think after she told Mr. Beck, she does go to the hideout and inject him. But I think before that, she also meets up with Logan's family or something. And she tells them that Judente is the one behind this. And I think to solidify her reasoning and her explanation, she shows them a photo of Judente being there the day of the accident when Logan blew up. So they actually believe her. And I think that's what results in them storming to Juvente's house and asking him where's Logan? And obviously they don't believe him at this point. So they just kind of go along with Juvente and make him believe that, oh yeah, sure, we believe that you think Shim Soo-ryun is the one who's doing this to Logan. And because if Cho Seo-jin didn't go to Logan's family beforehand and let them know, Judente is the actual killer, they would never have brought Shim Soo-ryun to meet Logan to the cottage. I think instead they would be interrogating her or possibly taking her to a police station if they actually thought she was the reason behind Logan's misery.
Exactly. I think Cho Seo-jin has many reasons to do this. Well, just by looking at who was taken down, who's affected by this. One, Mr. Beck. Cho Seo-jin and Mr. Beck agreed to share the money, to split it in half.
Right.
But why share when you could have it all? And Cho Seo-jin, as we know, she's a little bit greedy.
True.
Two, her biggest enemy is Judante, even though she's working very closely with him. You know what they say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Yep.
So, and Logan is the only one who could take Judante down. So I think she's keeping him for that. And third, they didn't mention that Logan has shares from the Chonmar Art Center.
Right.
So I think she also wants that.
That is very true. Yeah. Cho Seo-jin is one smart cookie. But I'm excited to see what happened. And I'm just more so happy that Logan and Shim Soo-ryun finally
are
meet.
back together. Yes.
I know. And then she finally finds out that Logan's alive. I'm quite surprised though that he just stood up and started walking.
Yeah, exactly. He was, wrapped up in bandages and gauze a few episodes ago, but here he is.
Yep.
Fully functioning.
Thankfully though. Okay, and then we get another little snippet, and this one is of Dr. Ha, and he's wearing all black, so I assume that he's either spying on someone, and I think quite possibly it's to gather information on what happened the night when he died, and quite possibly to spy on Cho Seo-jin, and I think her name was Miss Jin, Eun-byul's nanny, to find out why she's giving these medications to Eun-byul, how she's acquiring them. I think for the next few episodes, it's just going to be about him finding out who killed Eun-hee and what Eun-byul is trying to forget.
Yeah, and one more thing, we saw that in episode 8 that Dr. Ha was taken by Logan Lee's their family security, but he's here and healthy and well. Yeah. So I think Cho Seo-jin might also be the advantage that might be the reason that he's here.
Yeah, so like you said, he's looking after her. She's
Mhm.
looking after him. Yeah. Okay, and then we get another little clippet, and this seems to be Sakuna and Judante. It seems to be that Sakuna is trying to hit Judante in the head, and Jenny's dad is stopping her.
Oh, I wish
Which
she did that though.
I
I
know
hope she does that.
that would be so satisfying to watch. But so I think Sakuna finds her way. She obviously is very frustrated with him. Clearly, she's been through a lot with what he just exposed to her at the orphanage. But I think Jenny's dad is stopping her because I think he knows that if Sukuna reveals herself right now, there's no way Judante would die by this impact on his head. So in return, Judante would most likely kill her. So I think Jenny's dad is stopping her from making irrational decisions, and I think he takes her to her brother, which seems like this scene. And Seokfun is also wearing suits more often, so we assume,
It's most likely him.
yeah, because she wouldn't hug any other guy like this besides her brother. So it seems like Jenny's dad takes Sokuna to her brother. I think he's doing this to try to get his wife and his daughter to trust him again so he can be one with his family.
That is Jenny and Jenny's mom. Yes.
Yeah, so I think he's just kind of like tired of being under Judante's control.
Yeah. And in this scene, she cries that Rona's mother died because of me. And I think that's because she finds out the reason, she found out that Minsola is her twin, and she's going to know that Eun Hee was trying to tell that to Shimsuran. And it's the reason she was killed by Judante.
Yeah, I feel really sad for her because she so many new information was given to her at like such a short.
It wasn't even given to her; it was thrown at her.
Right? I don't know how I would cope. Like, imagine finding out you bullied your own twin sister to the point where she died. Basically, that's horrible. I don't know how I would feel. And then we see another little clip. Again, Jenny's dad seems like he's frustrated and he just wants to be with his family again, so he's willing to do anything and everything to get their trust and to patch up his family. And then we see a little snippet of, I assume it's like an opening ceremony for Judante and his building or the construction thing. So we assume that his company gets the rights instead of Doan Construction, and the construction for the building he's been planning starts to go underway. Yeah. And then we have
the one and only
Cho
Seo-jin.
Our favorite character.
Yes, she's a great character. She finally gets her position back, the position she's been wanting her entire life.
The position she killed her dad for.
And I mean, she killed her dad. She was going to do anything for this position, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it suits her. And it seems like, honestly, it seems like she has bigger plans now that she has this position under her. Definitely, it's going to be used to her advantage. And then we have this little scene where it seems like Cho Seo-jin is the one on the left side dressed in red and Judante is on the right side. So I assume that like maybe they get in a dispute. So like maybe Judante finds out that Cho Seo-jin is working against him, or she's been plotting something behind him, and they have like this standoff.
I think actually he's not going to know anything, and it's just going to be a blow to his head. Like she's just gonna like sneak up, and right here, I think they're just meeting each other to talk. And I really do think Judante sees Cho Seo-jin as an ally.
That is true.
But
she is very clever. I would trust her.
I mean, Mr. Beck, she threw him on the bus, and like they've been working together for months.
That is true. And she just wants Judante down. He's like the only thing standing in her way by now. She took Shim Soo-ran down. She took everyone else. It's just him now. So I would be scared if I was Judante. You cannot.
I think he underestimates the power she has, though.
Yeah, I think it's more so because she doesn't show it. She does everything like on the low, but Judante is more like he just shows what he's doing. He doesn't really care. He just destroys everything. Yeah. And then our last little clip that we have is of Logan Lee, and this also shows Logan Lee and Shim Soo-ran together. They were working as a pair, and they were fighting someone who was tied up. We didn't see their face, but we think it's Mr. Beck.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we think they have Mr. Beck under custody and they're trying to get information as to what happened the day that Logan's car blew up.
Who was involved and who actually went through with the plan?
Right,
Who was
because
behind it all?
Logan knows that Judante was there, and I think quite possibly Logan just assumes that Judante blew up the car, but I don't think he quite knows like who carried him out,
Mhm.
who was under watching him
And
under.
why? You know?
Yeah, like what is the purpose of keeping him alive? They could have just took the money if he was dead from the family and gave the body.
Mhm.
But yeah, so this is interesting to see. I'm so glad Logan Lee and Shinsuran are
Back
reunited.
together, yes.
Yes. Oh, and Vedona finally won the
Yes,
first
she won. We're
first
so
place
excited.
trophy. So happy
For the
her.
first time, it was a fair and square contest.
Yeah.
So I'm glad she won.
Yeah, but this episode was definitely super fun. And we cannot wait for episode 9.
It'll be a really good episode. I could just feel it.
Everything is just coming to pieces.
Last few left.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed.
If you liked it, give us a thumbs up.
And if you have any predictions, please leave them down in the comments below. We want to know what you think will happen. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, please feel free to let us know.
And thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you next week.